Welcome back to another episode of Tell Me About Your Damn Book, live from the 2018 New England Authors Expo. I'm your host, Stephen Lomer, and with me is a sci-fi fantasy author by the name of Tim Baird. Tim?
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. So let's talk a little bit about how you got started in writing.
So I am a mechanical engineer by trade, but I like to write at night for fun.
Okay.
So I wanted to write a story for my son that I could read to him someday when he was age appropriate. And it's a fantasy novel that is dragon related and takes place in New England. And the whole goal was to someday read it with him and then take him to these different locales where his character, because he's the protagonist, a fictionalized version of course, we can go visit the different mountains and the caves and the different locations where the scenes play out. And I want to read it with them someday, and it could be something we could do together as a family. Well, this started out as like a 10-page Word doc that I was kind of playing with, and then it became 50 pages, and it was 100 pages, and I suddenly realized I should just finish the story. So next thing I know, I have a completed book. I self-published it to Amazon, and now I've recently published my second book, and I'm about to start writing the third part, which will be the continuation of a 3-part book series.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah.
So what's been your experience so far as an author, especially as a self-published author? Has it been, was it tough? Was it a challenge to get that ball rolling?
So it was really tough doing the first book because everything I did was totally brand new to me. I live in the world of numbers and CAD drawings. This is completely different than everything I do. But once I kind of shook the cobwebs off and I did that first book, the second one was way easier. It took me 4 years to do the first book. It took me 9 months to do the second. I've now procrastinated for about 6 months on the third book, but this book fair sort of jump-started a little bit, and I'm going to start working on it probably later this summer.
Nice,
Yeah, thank
nice. Now, of course, I had to do some research before I sat down with you, a little due diligence. And one of the things in your bio, it says that you enjoy writing what you love to read, which is fantasy and science fiction. So what are some of your what are some of your fantasy and science fiction loves that got you into this?
So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, which has nothing to do with this, but it started me down the path of sci-fi and fantasy. But I've been reading a ton of Tolkien. I love John Scalzi. I love just any kind of fantasy that can get me into a different world and just transport me away from my day-to-day grind of just trying to get stuff done. If it helps me, disconnect and have fun and just separate, myself from bills and taxes and everything for a couple minutes a day, then I love to read it. And I love to write what I love to read, and it just comes easily to me. I think I have a decent imagination, and I love to just come up with, characters and storylines and plots and put them all together. And it all started as just a goal to write for half an hour a day. And that turned into the first book, and it's done me pretty well so far. So that's what I plan on doing, and I like it because I live in one mindset throughout the day, trying to earn my salary, and then I just completely switch gears, and it's just a whole different profession. I'm not really in it to make money. It's just it's a way for me to have fun because I haven't really gained any money out of this yet. So there's a reason I still have my day job. But no, it's something that's fun for me, and I enjoy doing it.
Nice.
So it's definitely been a challenge, but not a challenge that I'm afraid of or bothers me. It's just something different to do, and it's exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you went in and stepped in it by saying that you were a Star Wars fan, because now I'm going to have to ask you to rank the Star Wars movies from best to worst, if you would be so kind.
From best to worst?
Yeah, because I want to start a lot of controversy in the comments section, so people feel free to weigh in on this. But let's hear what Tim has to say on the subject.
I love to stir the pot up. It's probably episodes 4, 6. I'm going in from best to worst.
Okay.
So I love Empire Strikes Back. It's probably my favorite. Return of the Jedi really brings it in. People probably will disagree with me, but I really like episodes 2 and 3. I thought they did a decent job. Once Jar Jar kind of got out of the question.
No, I don't think we can accept that. I don't think anyone in their right mind would list 2 anywhere but at the bottom. The clones?
I really like the lightsaber battles that are taking place. I know the clones were a little goofy,
Yes.
but once I got over Jar Jar Binks, that's why Episode 1 is obviously at the far end of the list.
Okay.
And I thought they did a decent job with 7 and 8, but I loved Rogue One. I thought they did a fantastic job with Rogue One. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
You wanted controversy? I brought it.
Well, yes, that's controversy, all right. Wow, this, ladies and gentlemen, took an ugly turn.
Yep.
And where does Solo fit into all of this?
Solo, I'm still on the fence. I've seen it once. It's tough for me because I've read all the books that told me the Han Solo story before, and I wasn't really a big fan of some of the directions they took.
Okay.
I thought they did a decent job with it as a movie, but I don't really see it as a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
To me, it's not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see, I would agree with that because I never, for a moment, felt like I was looking at a young Han Solo or a young Lando Calrissian. I thought I was looking at good actors doing good jobs on the screen,
Yep.
but it never connected to me with those original characters. So I would agree with you on that. I cannot abide by this Attack of the Clones thing, though. This is scandalous. I don't know. I should end this right now, but we haven't gotten to the gimmick yet, so I have to do that, and then I guess I can pull the plug and go and lick my wound somewhere. So, Tim Baird, tell me about your damn book.
So now that I got you all riled up, Steve, I am here to tell you about Washington's Dragon Hunter,
Okay.
the second book in my 3-part series. This is the continuation of The Dragon and the Whites.
Okay.
And the third book, which has not been named yet, will follow up the entire storyline. So in Washington's Dragon Hunter, we leave where the protagonist left off in the beginning of the first book, up on the side of Mount Washington up in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And we see the issues that he had that arose from the first part of the story, how he was dealing with it. I don't know how much really you want me to go into a spoiler detail.
No
but-
spoilers. No, we want people to buy this and find out for themselves.
So it's a very exciting story if you are a hiker or you love to ski. If you like to do anything outdoors in New England, this is the world I grew up in, and I always realized that there was no dragons in these scenarios. So I thought, what could I enjoy hiking better by, doing, and it was adding dragons to it.
Sure.
So this whole storyline takes place in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, some of Maine, some of Vermont, and they're mountains that I grew up hiking and skiing as a young kid, and then hiking even more when I got older and riding my bike around different areas. And my son is a fictionalized version of him when he's older, and he is battling this dragon that he discovered up in the woods of Maine. And the dragon is raining terror across New England, and only he knows how to solve it. The Air Force is involved, and all these other people are trying to get him, but it really boils down to his skills and his knowledge. And he is sort of single-handedly trying to take this on with the help of a couple people, and it's all about his life and how he deals with this. And I hope that my real son enjoys this someday, because this is the world that I've kind of painted for him for when he gets older.
Wow.
But yeah, if you like hiking, if you like fantasy, and you want to see them blended together, I definitely recommend you go on Amazon and you pick up a copy of The Dragon and the Whites and Washington's Dragon Hunter.
Nice.
And add me on Amazon as one of your favorite authors. And when you see my third book come out, you can hopefully jump on it and read that as well.
What he said.
Yeah.
So just briefly tell us about the third one. You said it's underway.
Yeah, so I have a bulletized list of all the major plot lines that are going to happen. I've started developing some of the different characters, and I have, a big map where I sort of pinpoint all the different places, and I've started to pick some of the locales. So what I need to do now is start fleshing out the individual, bullets that I have drafted and start painting the story out in front of me. I have maybe a weird style of how I go about my writing. It might be my engineering coming into play. I do have spreadsheets that back up the way I write these stories. So yeah, I'm kind of diving in. Basically what happened is I originally had it as a potential 2-book continuation. It was going to be 4 books total. But then I started thinking about how I wanted to do it. I'm condensing it down into one, so maybe it's some structural work that I'm doing right now. But once I have that whole roadmap painted out, I'm just going to dive right in, and then I'll probably be writing a page or 2 every day. And it's going to be where this book takes off, or leaves off, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to tell you that, obviously, but it takes place in Central Mass, where I'm from, and it will be where the dragon and the protagonist take off from there, and it's going to be an exciting conclusion.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to writing it. I'm pretty excited to see how I want to have it all come out.
Sweet. Well,
So-
we're looking forward to reading it.
Well,
And
thank you very
I'm
much.
actually looking forward to reading all of them. So.
Oh, thank you.
So that'll be good.
Thank
But
you.
and you said they're available on Amazon.
Yeah, so right now they're exclusively available on Amazon. I self-publish them through Kindle Direct Publishing, and they're both up there as ebooks and paperbacks for whichever format you prefer.
Awesome. All right. Well, Tim
cool.
Baird, thank you so much for spending some time with me.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.